taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, man, what it do is no more pay-per-views.
Yes, sir.
That's how I'm referring to myself now for the rest of the podcast.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's LB, a lot of dope balls, Go Artist, Shuttleworth the Guy, World is a op. But yeah, it's still no more fucking pay-per-views. Like, that's it. I'm done. Like, that's it. That done. No more. Like, that's it.
Yeah, boxing pay-per-views are ops now for all of Ring Gang. You know,
yeah.
Make sure you understand.
They the new ops now. Like every year is a new theme. Like the draw is the new robbery.
Word.
Career mode glitch. Like now it's like pay-per-views the op. Like
we might need to get an article just to make that point on that shit, my nigga.
We might need I ain't gonna lie, we might get an article on that because this is ridiculous. Like you're already seeing the artwork for the boxing media because I got something for y'all niggas too. But
yes, sir.
Let me not prolong the intro and we'll hand it off to the bodega man
sir.
himself.
Sir, got my other man with me straight from the bodega, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? You know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And then, so who's banned from the bodega this week, P?
Nobody's banned per se, but I'm gonna have to have old niggas like, no more than 15 minutes in the store. You fucking shit. So,
taking all the time and shit, like you taking up all the space in the aisle and shit. Get the fuck on, like.
Yes, sir.
And you young niggas acting old, just as old as these old niggas. Y'all don't belong either.
Facts. Oh shit.
There ain't nothing worse than an old nigga is a young nigga acting older than an old nigga. Canelo.
Right? Like, shut that shit up.
Yeah, both y'all niggas out of here.
Yo, real talk, man. And last but certainly not least, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's fly? It's your boy Conscious Pilot, aka the West Coast Avenger, #1 contender, preparing for liftoff, destination Ringing Radio. Let's fly.
Yes, sir.
Once again, proper prediction, Pilot. Like, what did you get right now? Did you say the pay-per-view was gonna be trash?
I did say that. Main event king predictor. That's all.
I mean,
Canelo by like uninspiring, boring ass decision.
I got like four back.
I was so close to my draw prediction, like ridiculously close.
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah, Pat would have got props for that shit.
The price scoring, that scoring was kind of like generous to Triple G, but
yeah, I was so fucking close. But yo, let's get into this fucking shit, yo, flat out straight up and down, man. I don't think there's been too many boxing weekends that I've been disappointed in that aggravated me. Because usually I like to look on the bright side of things. I like to be optimistic to a degree.
Back to back disappointing boxing.
This was disgusting for so many fucking reasons, and there's a lot we have to unpack from this shit. And it's all stemming from fucking Canelo versus Triple G 3. Like, everything about this event, from the build up to the card to the promotion to how it's played out.
2022.
Yeah, to even the future of these two fighters. It's all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Every single one, it's all fucked up in the game, man. So which one?
Just start, my nigga. You look, man. You fucking pulled the pin off the grenade and you threw it up in the fucking air like murder ball. Let's go.
First, we need to get some thought about the Zone pay-per-view. The Zone pay-per-view, they were riding for us. Like, the Zone was like, when Triple G and Canelo first signed, like, they wanted to make this fight. You know what I'm saying? You would think they were so insistent on this that you would have thought that maybe, by the time they actually were able to make it, they were able to do something about it. There was little promotion on mainstream media, like, no shoulder programming whatsoever. None of this shit. And then when you get the shit there, like, I was thinking at first Danny Jacobs was a good addition to the broadcasting booth, but it seemed like now there was like no chemistry. Before I went from being annoying to like, damn, there's a whole bunch of no chemistry shit going on there. And Jacobs is kind of starting to fuck up a little bit. Like, it was just like the whole
the commentary team was the worst. Like it was just like no chemistry. Jacobs was like in and out of being relevant with what was going on.
Right.
It was just horrible.
And he should have had the most insight, seeing as he fought both of these niggas himself. Like
honestly, he added nothing to the broadcast. Like, it's almost like you could have brought in Kasim Umar or David Lemieux or somebody.
Right, and it was so bad because he fought Rosado. Hell, he went life and death with fucking Mora.
He fought half the goddamn card.
Yeah, like, you were right. It's like, Jacobs have fought a lot of the main cats on this card, but
it gave everybody tough fights. That's the craziest part, was he had really no insight. And he pretty much fought the same type of fight against Canelo that Golovkin had for the third fight, which was do fuck all for the first half and come on late.
Right. Yeah.
And for him not to even realize that and no one bring it up was just like, are we watching the same telecast? Like,
yeah, I mean, the only thing that he brought up that was actually insightful was the fact that he thought Triple G was a harder fight than Canelo, and at least he explained why that was. But other than that, it was just like...
the funny thing is he won more rounds against Canelo than me.
Yeah, exactly.
You can legit say he took 5 from both.
Right.
Maybe 6 for Golovkin with the knockdown, but damn.
Yeah, it's like Jacobs, and he was disappointed. Like the Jacobs and Mark could have been, but yeah, they had no chemistry whatsoever. It's to the point where he almost like, goddamn, man, even make some stupid shit, Like there was
worse chemistry than damn Lennox and the Goosen.
Yeah,
you didn't even get an awkward joke out of these niggas.
Yeah, it was just a whole bunch of dead air. Like it was just dead air. Like, and I was like, goddamn, like either Max got the memos, like, yo, let these two motherfuckers like do their thing, and you just chime in. But Mannix couldn't even say it. Not even it's bad too when Mannix didn't say shit, and it's like, it's like, damn, he should have said some shit then. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
And I think he's always dick riding Jacobs for the goddamn knockdown of Mora.
Right. Oh, excuse me. I think he did say something. He did say Triple H.
Yeah, he did. Triple at the beginning of the fight, I was like, Triple H. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I was like, who the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is going on there? I was like, yeah. And I don't know if he meant to do it for Joko on purpose, but either way, it was just like, what the fuck? But
just the whole pay-per-view is like, there's no big light.
Wait, somebody say Triple? Did somebody really say Triple H? Hold on,
Mannix.
Yeah, Mannix.
Probably because of Fat Joe, because Fat Joe called him Triple H by accident, Triple G.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know how it came about, but it was just some very random thing. Part of me thinks he might have actually did a legit fuck up, though. Regardless,
Among other things, shit.
Yeah,
the whole pay-per-view was a fuck up. It just DAZN just does not know how to create events. They just do not. Like, the promo has so much favoritism that they had to step back from the promo because they would have had to praise Golovkin and kind of shit on Canelo in order to promo this fight, because one lost his last fight and one won his last fight.
Right.
So without that promo and no gloves off type of shit behind the scenes, none of that, without that, you didn't have that extra fuel pushing the fans and the fighters.
Right. Yes, sir.
The promo fuels the fight. That's why I feel like Mayweather Pacquiao was such a dud, because you didn't have the fans and the public involvement. That the energy didn't fuel anybody. Right. It's like y'all kept it away from everybody until the night of the fight, and it's like that doesn't work.
Right. Absolutely.
And then y'all got all these boxers and y'all can't put together a compelling undercard with meaningful fights. Don't give me a bunch of showcase fights and then try to make them seem like, oh yeah. Hey, we got this Bam Bam kid. He beat all these other good fighters on other cards, but not this one. Yes, like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
this was like a glorified Top Rank card. You know how they do that?
It was. I'm glad you said it. This was Hearn's remix for a Top Rank card, like the own remix.
E Diddy.
Remix.
E Diddy.
Motherfucker think he Jermaine Dupri. Even the weigh-in shirt, motherfucker thought he was goosing.
Right.
You see that shit? I was like, nah, what the fuck is going on? Why you can't pull that off, dude? Like, who the fuck are you?
And the funny thing is too, it's getting to the point where now even the shit with Taylor and Serrano, which is probably the best event he's probably put on, not just this year, but probably like overall in America.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like you do it, and it's like you can't figure out how to make that shit pop like you did before.
And he got lucky with that. If Serrano was promoted by anybody else, it wouldn't go good. That Jake Paul and his talking and his hype and his promo helped sell that fight.
Yo, by the way, I'm just saying it's funny that y'all mentioned with the whole thing with Jacobs. I seen a comment with his commentary. I seen a comment online talking about how Jacobs get outshined in the booth by Jessica McCaskill.
Yo, facts. Yo, facts. Yo, straight facts. Yo, McCaskill.
The same Jessica McCaskill that niggas always be clowning and saying no skills, but it's obviously she knows fighting.
She absolutely does. And honestly, she should have been in the booth instead of. I mean, granted, she was doing what she was doing in the booth with old girl and Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Well, no, Porter knows his thing. Porter should be up.
Yeah.
I mean, Porter says silly things, but he didn't say anything silly. I mean, Porter was on point. Especially, he was the first one to say to mention. I was like, nah, Canelo, that boy is tired. Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? Like, that nigga was tired.
The commentary was just so off. Like, oh my god, and it's like. This is pay-per-view. This should have been regular DAZN. Like,
yes.
I'm calling. Like, honestly, I'm just so. And I'm speaking from a nigga whose last pay-per-view I bought was Floyd Shane.
Right.
So mind you that, like, I don't support these niggas. I do too much for boxing to be putting money in these niggas' pockets for fights that should be on regular TV or at least regular cable or some shit.
So, yeah, like, and I paid for DAZN, and you know, luckily, you know, there's a way. You know, I mean, I still watched it on DAZN. You know what I'm saying? But it was
you know, you got to do your thing. You know what I mean,
yeah, you know, I mean, but come on, like, this is one of those fights where it's just like, you know, DAZN pay-per-view as a concept. First of all, I've never agreed with it. It's a very foreign concept.
They doing the tip fucking routine, bro. Like, these niggas is trying to make us pay back all the money they spent giving the fucking Jesse Vargas and Mikey Garcia and all these other motherfuckers when the zone just started. That's what they're doing.
And the funny,
I'm not gonna bill for these motherfuckers. Just like at restaurants, you know, y'all want me to tip 25% and all this bullshit, and y'all niggas still be on some trash ass mid performance level serving.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the night, I was like, I think I'm gonna cancel my DAZN, and I didn't pay for the pay-per-view. I'm just like, I was like, I think I'm just gonna cancel. It's not worth $20 a month. It feels like.
You see what I'm saying? It's like honestly, like $20 a month. Wow. Like, if you don't see, like, if you can't find value in that at $20 a month, and you're not even hurting for $20, you know they're doing a disservice.
Yeah, every time I see that $20 hit my bank, I just shake my head. I'm like, why do I pay for this shit? I think last night was the breaking point.
This nigga was like, man, this could have been a damn eighth or something.
Dub or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't understand. Like, you charge some countries pay-per-view, but other countries, nah, it's not pay-per-view. Like, you know, but it doesn't work like that. And like I said,
then you don't promote American fighters, but you always charging us for everything.
Right, right. And then the non-American contingent, they get all this shit for free. Like, you know, no extra shit, and it makes it more value for them. So I'm trying to figure out what the disconnect is. Like, and like I said, I've always supported the concept of the zone. I like the zone. I like, you know, but it's
the concept was dope, but poorly executed. Like, poorly executed.
It seems like there's no boxing people, core boxing people that need. That's the
problem with boxing in general.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
boxing is run by non-boxing people, but it's catered to. But it's run in a casual way where they try to use gimmicks to sell fights instead of saying, you know what, Canelo, you're the undisputed champ, but David Benavidez is the motherfucker that everybody wants to see you fight.
Right, but no. Instead we got here shit about the Paul brothers, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Like, what the fuck? Like, these niggas, I don't want to hear shit about them. Like, you know,
but because the boxing is so flawed and so poorly promoted and executed, people like Jake Paul and random YouTubers.
Yeah, and this is the reason why
fan base and make a quick come up with boxing. It's like just like they could with rapping.
Yeah,
imagine they do both.
Yeah, and I also have to mention too about I've never seen so much mention about HBO boxing like I did last night, and it's only gonna get louder. Like everyone's like, "Well, damn, I miss HBO boxing." Shit, we all do, but I mean, we all know why HBO went out of business with the boxing. We know that the budgets got slashed. We know that certain fighters left. It
was running on fumes, and they still put out a superior looking product than what these niggas is doing now. Like these motherfuckers that make Vitalik Klitschko versus Danny Williams look bigger than goddamn Canelo versus Triple G3.
I mean, fuck it. I mean, even in the day, they even tried to make Cletus Selden of all people a thing. They even tried to build him up, like. And like
the fights just look more professional. The lighting's better. The angles. It's just a better product. And the zone is just not. It's not fan friendly. It's not casual friendly. It's not hardcore friendly. Takes too long to make the proper fights. Mm-hmm. You want a damn. Pigeonhole America and rob America, but you can't do nothing with American fighters. You bend over backward for Canelo and all these foreign motherfuckers. Like, if that's the case, like, why are you here? Like why? Like y'all didn't do shit for Haney. Y'all didn't do really shit for Farmer. Y'all ain't do shit for Andre. Like,
well, Farmer's a different case. Farmer kind of fucked up himself. Eddie has nothing to do with that shit.
He did, but still, like, y'all not making bigger fights for these guys.
Yeah, y'all not making stars for certain guys.
You paying them good, but okay, like,
yeah,
y'all not forcing guys. Like, look, man, like we highly suggest you take this fight with Tank. We highly look. So many times they could have put Andre as a co-main to a Joshua fight or a Canelo fight or any fight. They just make these niggas into regular little Friday night ESPN level fights.
Right, and then and also the worst thing is too is that the zone had control of all the middleweight champions. Andre, Saunders, Triple G, and Canelo, and only in not one fight came off of it, except other than last night. Yeah, and then one of them was,
couldn't do nothing but just pawn them off to Canelo one by one.
At least it's a tragedy. Yeah, we didn't get like any mix of Andre, Mungia, Triple G.
And all that shit. Yeah, this is what in the zone pay-per-view. Like, I mean, you can't after because they were banking on this being.
And they really tried to make this seem like it was bigger than Crawford and Spence, and I'm like, dude, y'all not promoting it like that. Like, this was supposed to be an angry ass grudge match, and Golovkin low-key tried with the attitude he had and his little zingers for Canelo.
Right.
But if you're not putting him on a bigger platform for that shit to echo and resonate with the casuals and more people, it's just useless, and more people would have been hyped up for the fight. But y'all don't do that, because it's like let's be honest, and this is why Canelo career is playing out the way it is. Him and Golden Boy and Matchroom, they really babied this nigga career, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to the point where he used himself up in a lot of easy fights that really didn't move the needle.
Right.
And now when he get a couple difficult little matchups that not really the hardest fights, but just more difficult. And I'm talking about Bivol and Golovkin. Now he's looking all old and washed up.
Mm-hmm.
Where you don't like he didn't even fight no hard fights against these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
He's acting like he just fought the gauntlet with Benavidez and Charlo and Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm good on this nigga. Like,
Yeah, like there was a lot of things like about this fight that is just like it just pointed to me. Like I mean, obviously because me and LB, you know, we are fans of Triple G, so we're like, okay, good. You know, fine. We're waiting for this. This is going to be the shit right now. This is going to be at least the marquee of the final quarter of this year, at least. You know, at least one of the. It was going to be one of the best fights of the year. You know, and
wrong.
Yeah, wrong. Like, horribly wrong. Like. And like I said, as much as we are pissed about, you know, Canelo and shit, like, I mean, we're also disappointed with the Triple G because, I mean, me and him, me and LB both understand that Triple G is definitely seen as better days. Like it's like it's done for him almost. Like Triple G.
I mean, that fight.
The Murata fight took more out of him than we possibly like realized. Like. It's like we all thought he was going to be able to dig deep against Canelo, but he actually had to dig deep against Murata, and he didn't have it again, even at 168, where he looked more filled out, better. He looked younger in the face too.
But the problem, but here's what I think about him being filled out. Like, because you can tell someone who, you know, if someone is probably naturally bigger than they're supposed to be. Triple G is a natural middleweight. Like you can tell, like. He made the weight once again, and he looked good at the scale. But when he rehydrated, you could see that how he was soft. Like I was like, yeah, this dude ain't no big like super middleweight. Like dude,
I honestly think it's because he's actually 40 years old, so his body ain't gonna just rip up like that. Like at the weigh-in he did, but once he rehydrated, I didn't think he was gonna look all ripped and shit like that. At 160, he has to straighten himself a little more. So when he rehydrates some, he still has like honestly against Murata was probably the most ripped I've seen him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because something was and even then, like even though you could tell he was still like
how long he's been training too, and at 40 and all natural. Like I honestly think he just got old. I was telling PJ last. Shout out to the Fight Architect, as he hit me up. We spoke about the fight a little bit. Golovkin looked like how basically Chocolatito looked against Soren Visai in the second fight. Like
right.
You knew something was off. He was just a step behind. That's why it really looks bad on Canelo for not 12 zip skunking dude or knocking him out
or knocking him down
or anything. He didn't really even hurt him like that.
Yeah, like the fight pretty much. And the fun thing is too is like. Yeah, I mean, and clearly Canelo won this fight. Like we're not gonna do any disagreements. Like you know, Canelo clearly won this fight.
It's either 117, 111, right. Or 116, 112.
Yeah,
like the 117. I mean, the 115, 113 was just some Holyfield Lewis 2 shit where the judges were trying to.
It was like a pulse to your pride. It was like, you know, a sorry, thank you for all you've done.
Yeah, right. Like here's your gold watch and your certificate for being a great employee for all these years.
Yeah,
like that's look. They was never gonna rob Canelo. Never.
Yeah.
Never. The fight was never up in the air or any of that. This was just giving him the benefit of the doubt that they didn't give him for the first 2 fights, right. And they felt a way about it. If anything, they was probably trying to make a draw. If that could have happened, but they was never going to rob Canelo.
Yeah, unless Triple G actually was able to at least knock down Canelo a couple of times.
Dude, the thing is this, like, if Triple G would have knocked him down late, they would have still had it for Canelo. The only way they would have had Golovkin winning if he would have started winning from, like, the 3rd, 4th round.
Right.
But for them to have those scores, and he didn't start winning rounds until, like, the 8th, 9th round.
9th at the earliest. Yeah, it was disgusting. Like, it was just like, come on. Like
you could tell with the Bivol fight that they was going to rob Bivol. You don't get the feeling from this. This was a whole different vibe.
Yeah, it seems like Canelo's fights can never get the proper judging that it needs to get. And it's really starting to annoy me on that aspect. Like,
it reflects on old boxing media because they never fucking speak on it. They only want to speak on it once the Bivol fight was done.
Yeah.
But we've been saying it for years, and other people been saying it. People with bigger platforms been even saying it. Like, but I know Ring Gang here. I've been saying it since Ring Gang started.
Word.
2018, I've been saying this shit, and I've been proven right each fucking year, all the way up to this year. Like,
right.
these is, and the thing is, they just don't want to call it what, like, it's always a but. Like, and I'll call names, and I'll be honest with this shit. Like, these niggas with bigger platforms, like, they do a disservice with the bias, man.
They do.
Like I even seen Breadman with the whole, like, he's expecting a 40-year-old Golovkin to goddamn turn into a fucking volume puncher, fight super aggressively mean, this, that. And it's like, y'all want all of this out of him, but here's Canelo at 32, supposed to be in his prime. He's barely doing enough to just beat. He's barely doing enough to just beat what Golovkin's doing in these rounds.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, Golovkin brought it during like about 6 or 7. He kind of poured it in finally, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but there's no pressure on Canelo to look great and knock out the worst version of Golovkin. But there's pressure on the worst version of Golovkin to look his best against the supposed best version of Canelo, because he's fired up. He's supposed to knock out Golovkin. He's coming off a loss. He's hungry. He's angry. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, like there's
another pedestrian.
Yeah, it's very rare that I see a fight where somebody wins so decisively, but win in such a way that people are thinking like, oh man, like there's a real noticeable decline. Like he's
hey my nigga, the trilogy had a Netflix ending.
Facts. It was just weird because it's like, and the funny thing is too is like, this is the reason why, like, pretty much all the Canelo fans, at least one thing, like none of them are really talking like that about this fight because they know what they're seeing, and add to the fact, like the person who actually bled in this fight is because of a headbutt. Look marked up was Canelo this time. Triple G, unfortunately didn't engage as much as he had, and that was Canelo's point. Like, if you're able to get off more punches and land them, you should have took the fight to him. But when you're gassing, I mean, that was the worst thing. He gassed.
He didn't do much in the fight when Golovkin was actually trying. So imagine Charlo and Benavidez actually trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's why to this day, this is the first time I saw Golovkin lose, and first time I seen Canelo actually beat him, and it was more about what Golovkin didn't do.
Yeah,
just in fucking 40.
Yeah, because age, I mean, we can see it, like, it happens to every fighter. You can see them actually think of what they want to do, the openings, but the body's not responding. That's age. That's age for a boxer. That's age for a 40-year-old.
Father Time's undefeated, bro. I mean,
yeah, Father Time is also, you can stave off Father Time, but in the end, it does get you. The longer you do, and even this is like it happens to every fighter that doesn't know when to walk away.
Yeah,
and I'm saying, I mean, it was admirable. Triple G, was at least, he didn't roll completely over, and at least was able to win some of the rounds, so it wasn't a complete skunk. But the thing is, like, if Canelo won this fight, but it should have been in a way where Triple G should have been battered. Like, I mean, Triple G should have been absolutely positively battered.
Dude pulled out a fucking Ugas performance.
Right.
And we supposed to be all happy, like, like, yeah, Arriba,
yeah. Whereas people can actually see that people can say, well, damn, Triple G is tough. Like, I mean, shit, Saunders and Caleb Plant, they got bodied, but no, he's yeah. I mean, in a way, this, like I said, everyone can tell Triple G, but in this way, Triple G doesn't get that type of,
I mean, to me, Triple G lasting on 12 is a testament to, like, his heart, his all-time level chin, and
the
boxing
skill. And he had a lot of defensive skill, like, and like I said, that was admirable. I mean, obviously, the only thing with that is his corner. Like, Jonathan Banks, I'm done with him as a trainer. Like, dude clearly isn't cut out for it, because you think that he's from the Emmanuel Stewart training camp, like, lineage, like. Emmanuel Stewart used to get fired up when his fighters weren't doing things that he was supposed to do. This motherfucker's like, well, Gennadiy, keep doing what you're doing. No, this was like in round 5 where he was clear that Triple G didn't even win a goddamn round. He didn't start that shit. I was like, well, Gennadiy, I think we're in trouble now. Like, I was getting infuriated. I was like, motherfucker, you better like slap this dude across his face and tell him to wake his ass up. Like, he got a fight to win. Like, you want to be undisputed champion? Like, he did none of that shit, and it's just like I'm done with Jonathan Banks as a trainer. I think, if anything, he's just I think Triple G at this time was just looking for something that was so anti-Abel that bam, dude just happened, and then Banks just happened. Oh yeah, I'm from I'm from the Emmanuel Stewart lineage, so yeah, let me just pick him.
Yeah, he was like the first brand new car on the lot.
Exactly.
He's like, you know what? That's my favorite color. Mileage, tires. All right, this will do.
Yeah, and
he didn't go on a damn reality show like Joshua. He just picked somebody.
Yeah, and like I said, I've had this complaint about him. I've had it since the Derevyanchenko fight. The Derevyanchenko fight is when I realized like this dude wasn't wasn't the one, because that fight was that fight was hard as fuck, and he wasn't telling him nothing. Triple G's
at this level of boxing where trainers ain't gonna really make a difference. It's more what they can see in the opponent and strategy wise,
right?
And that's what you need. And if they're not providing that, it's like get someone else. Because another thing I like to say, like Golovkin, his condition and discipline is top notch for 40. Like all this shit that niggas is dick riding Hopkins, y'all gotta start watching the errors y'all speak on. Right. Because when Hopkins was 40 and he was bullshitting around that middleweight at the end of his reign, he was starting to pull in these damn pedestrian ass performances where he couldn't put out no type of real effort for 12 rounds.
Absolutely.
And that's why he lost to Jermaine Taylor twice. That's why he made Howard Eastman a competitive fight.
That's why he almost lost to Jean Pascal the first time around. That's why he lost to Chad Dawson, clearly.
And that's more so on those fighters' styles because he was at a higher weight and he showed a little more activity at those weight classes in a steady way throughout about 12 rounds. At the end of his middleweight round, he was at his limit. He wasn't putting the type of effort Triple G was putting in at fucking 38, 39, 40 years old. Mm-hmm. You think Hopkins was having goddamn shootouts with bigger dudes?
No. The only thing you give credit, Hopkins was fighting at a low work rate and was able to make his opponents fight at his work rate. But when they didn't, they gave him a lot of trouble, and B-Hop collected some losses or had some difficult fights. And then
exactly, he couldn't even put out the offensive output to even make the fight better for himself.
Right. And
it was all about I could make it close enough to bitch about the decision afterwards.
Yeah, and if you saw B-Hop in his actual prime, you'll see how much of a crime it was how he declined. But he was
exactly.
Triple G has the discipline, but like I said, sometimes just age just gets ahead of you. I mean, Triple G had an extended amateur career, and a good part
300 fights.
Yeah, a good fight. I mean, a good part of his career, was hampered by litigation issues back when he was, when he was fighting in Germany before he came to the America, and then after that, he had to deal with a whole lot of people ducking him.
Yeah, it's not arguable. Look, Sergio Martinez confirmed duck. Cotto confirmed duck.
Felix Sturm, an absolute duck.
Absolute duck. That's 3 official confirmed ducks. Now, imagine how his career would be if he just had one of those names on his resume. Mm-hmm. Peter Quillen, another one, confirmed duck. Mm-hmm. Even Jacobs waited him out.
Yeah, the only middleweight champion that did not duck him is fucking Lemieux. The only one that literally said that he won Triple G ducks after he won the belt and did it.
Facts. Yeah. All these other niggas ducked though. Wait him out. Canelo waited him out. Look.
Yeah, and this is where I turned against Canelo because Canelo, when Canelo took that fight against Cotto. And because Cotto, decided like, what? Nah, screw that. Like I'm gonna face Canelo, and if he doesn't want to drop to 155 for me, I'll face Canelo, who's at the time was fighting at 154, and it wasn't much of a jump for him, and he'll be the lineal champion there. Blah 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 blah. But when Canelo started talking about that 155 2 shit too,
it was a pump fake. It's like after the Cotto fight, we needed the Triple G fight, but instead we got a whole bunch of other bullshit fights. Like I had the post on Twitter, like the fans. This is the second time the fans were robbed of the best that we could have gotten from the boxers in fights. First time was Floyd and Pacquiao.
Yes, sir.
We was robbed of seeing them at their best, and you could blame all them niggas. Mm-hmm. Like you really could, like all them niggas, both sides, promoters, fan, everyone, all them niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Golovkin, Canelo is a second big, and you can say Joshua Wilder was another one that got fucked up. We didn't even end up getting that, so I'm not even gonna count it.
Right. It only depends on how many. If we ever do get it, depends if if the sun does shine on that fight again.
Yeah, exactly. So Canelo Golovkin, we were supposed to get that in 2016. Real shit.
Yeah.
That whole trilogy should have been done, or the last fight in that should have been done in 2017, 2018. If it was a trilogy, it should have been completed at 2019, 2020 at the latest.
Right.
This shit went from 2017 to 2022. Mind you, Golovkin's prime was like 2011 to 2015.
Right. Yeah, 2016, you saw that was the first start. You started to see the decline, and then 2017, like you saw, pretty much, you saw like a steady. It wasn't a big decline, but it was a steady decline. Yeah,
because he peaked in like 2014, 2015. So
yeah, I mean, the Lemieux fight. The Triple G and the Lemieux fight, or the Murray fight, like no one was beating those versions of Triple G. Like that dude was.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to a whole the previous era and start saying, okay, does Kelly Pavlik beat him? Mm-hmm. Does Arthur Abraham beat him? Does Jermaine Taylor beat him? Does Hopkins beat him?
Right.
And I'm not sure on all of those, but I'm damn sure Golovkin would have beat the middleweights from all his era.
Yeah, especially he would have beaten the shit out of Cotto. Like that's not even a
Sergio
thing.
Martinez too. He beat the shit out of Stern. I feel like they weren't in the same era, but he beats the shit out of Pavlik.
Yeah.
I think Taylor could finesse a decision. They'd have to fight twice. Because I feel like Taylor's hand speed and his foot speed and boxing ability, jab is just as good. Uppercut. That'd be a great motherfucking fight. But
unfortunately, no. His stamina, though, Taylor's stamina would always be his downfall. Like it was his downfall in the end. Like Taylor's stamina was his downfall, anyways.
That's what I feel like. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it'll be a good fight where Taylor will be leading, and he'll do enough to hang on to a late Golovkin surge. Remember, This is 160, and I would say give me Pat Burns in Jermaine Taylor's corner.
Right, yeah, sure.
Don't give me Stewart or anybody else. Give me Pat Burns, because he brought out the best in Taylor, and I think it's not out of the ordinary. I don't think it's some big crazy shit to say Jermaine Taylor could beat Golovkin at least once if they fought 3 times.
Yeah, I believe it.
It'd be a good fight though, but
it's just now it's just this point in the sea, because now Triple G is clear, and the worst thing Triple G could say that he's still champion, which he is. Like he's still a middleweight champion. But now
an old middleweight gave him a better fight at super middleweight than the natural super middleweights.
Yeah,
Caleb Smith, big fucking self.
Caleb Plant, Callum Smith,
all these dudes.
Saunders, like they all need to be ashamed of themselves, really. Like big, real tough.
I don't get my sister started on the Plant fight.
Yeah. Don't get me started on the Plant fight. I think Caleb Plant is a fraud. So it's like
I know you. I said
hell yeah.
Plant's quality. Like fuck
yeah. Benavidez with body Plant. If we're gonna
but now it's considered because now
I don't know about all that, but
but now after this fight, now you have to see what is the future because Triple G's gonna go back to 160. Now, him going back down from 168, that could be a bad thing. Canelo wants to go to 175. That's a bad thing for him. Like it's like
Canelo fooled everybody. He has no weight. If Canelo could fight where he wanted, that nigga would fight at 170.
So you don't think Triple G's gonna retire?
No, he's not gonna retire.
He said he wasn't gonna.
All that money. You seen him on the phone.
He's still the man at 160. So
he's a unified champ. He's a unified champion.
Because
he's gonna move down.
Yeah, I mean, right now
he's kind of a dead division.
Shout out to Henry Gosling. What it do? Yes, Golovkin looked his age. That fight was lackluster as hell. Damn right.
Yeah, that's why we've been spinning bars about it. Like lots of bars, and it was just bad too because now like Triple G now has to deal with a Mando to face fucking Arislani Laura to merge his GameStop belt, and he has to do it else he's gonna get stripped of the WWE.
And no one wants to see that fight.
Yeah, I can see him getting stripped. I can see him getting stripped and not taking that fight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
Was it
WB? Is it WBA?
Yeah.
Yes, WBA.
Yeah.
Because he'll still have the IBF, right?
He'll still have the IBF.
So he'll still have the IBF. I keep hearing that I know what's his name, Tom Leffler said something about how they had discussions with Chris Eubank, and those discussions went pretty well. So that's something to look to. Later on, I could see him fighting Eubank next. And then whatever, I don't know about that, but
another nigga waited Golovkin out. Like Jesus Christ, like.
I mean, I could see here the way I could see it is.
It's a cash grab.
He's a promotional free agent, so I could see him fighting for that WBA belt anyway. Because if he drops the belt, Lara gets it. Well, Lara has to fight for it, and then if he wins, he'll unify with Jamal Charlo. And then you could have a Charlo-Golovkin fight down the line if Golovkin still wants to fight, which would be brutal for Golovkin at his advanced age.
That's what I'm saying. It's because pretty much none of all the fights that are probably on the table for him, I'm not confident that he wins all of them. That's gonna be a lot at this point because he didn't show. He showed very little of what he was.
So that corporate ass sparring session where this nigga agreed to fight late in the fight, it was just that nigga can retire, yo.
Yeah, honestly, Triple G has made more than enough money. The Zone gave him a retirement package out of this world, and he deserved it after all these years.
I know people say he finessed the system, but it evens out for how the system finessed him. So
dude, probably it's probably. I mean, he's
crying a bathtub of money.
He's on a table right now getting at least the minimum of 20-something million. He's probably gonna get more than that.
It was 25 mil, I think, was the minimum. So
so it's
everything happens
depending. Obviously, it depends how the pay-per-view buys go.
That's just flopping. It'll be like 300K.
Yeah. I mean, if it sells over $1 million, I'd be completely shocked. And then
I heard the arena wasn't even full like that. Just the cheap seats were full.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. Because they made it a point because it was all over Twitter. People that were there were made a point to make sure to shoot those cameras, even the areas that were kind of blacked out. Yeah, they made sure of that.
This fight is bigger than Spud and Crawford. I said Spud and Crawford. I just put them niggas' names together, but y'all motherfuckers took too long to fight too. Yeah, and honestly, that fight don't need to be pay-per-view. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Bud and Crawford don't have to be pay-per-view?
No, Spence and Crawford, Spud.
It's an inside joke, I know. Spud. No, that's a welterweight.
That ain't no fucking pay-per-view, nigga.
That's pay-per-view, bro.
Nah, motherfucker, that's no fucking pay-per-view, nigga.
I mean, niggas might not pay for it, but it's pay-per-view.
That shit ain't no pay-per-view, nigga. That shit is goddamn HBO World Championship boxing on a Saturday night. That shit is the first Saturday card on a goddamn Showtime Circle 2004.
Yeah, but like I said, now the Zone pay-per-view right now is a dead concept.
I don't want to hear the Zone pay-per-view ever again.
Yeah, like because number one, now neither on Matchroom or Golden Boy, they don't have any fighters, and you can't make Ryan Garcia into a pay-per-view if he's not fighting any significant fights like that.
Well, the Tank fight is the only fight that he has as pay-per-view, and I hope that happens because, like, honestly, boxing is in need of a great pay-per-view card. Like, it's dying for a great pay-per-view card, like literally
with significant fights, like, you know, it's like
significant fights that end up being good. Like, can I get a card where every fight is at least between people who are top 5 in their division?
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, we've watched enough boxing, like, so we.
You might be asking for too much there.
Yeah. These days,
yeah.
That the simplest concept. That's what I'm about.
Technically, that guy Gonzalez might be 5th in the division, the one that fought Bam. Kinda, I guess. I mean, if you know, we got different.
What about the rest of the card? Like, dude, like that shit wasn't even good enough to make me get out of my nap.
Yeah. Gabe Rosado should have not been on that. They should have put Pacheco on there instead of Gabe Rosado.
Yeah. That Rosado Akhmadov fight was horrible, really. Because Rosado, it showed how washed Rosado is. He shouldn't have been.
I know Shane's on Golden Boy Mosley, but he won the fight. Get him on. What the fuck is Rosado doing on the pay-per-view? Not Shane Mosley.
Dude, like, I'm just tired. Like honestly, they don't know how to damn make compelling pay-per-views and fights. Like, y'all don't deserve to have pay-per-views. Like, honestly, like I could just see Crawford Spence having a lackluster lineup too, because they like
the budget.
The budget. Meanwhile, Golovkin and Canelo, you know,
60
like goddamn 80 mil or some shit. Because didn't Canelo get like 65 mil?
Wasn't it 45 and 20 or some shit? I don't know. I glanced at it.
It was 45.
It was crazy.
It was like 40 for at least the minimum. So he get up to like 60 something million for this fight.
It's just crazy.
Okay, so at the end of the day, Canelo probably end up getting 60, and Golovkin will end up making maybe 35, maybe 40.
Yeah.
And these niggas gave us the equivalent of the fucking
gave us Pac Mayweather 2, part 2. Like, that's how it was.
Nah, these niggas gave us the damn Winky Bronco McGart series.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see how you say that. And honestly, people were saying that, you know, that this fight was the equivalent of Sugar Ray Leonard Duran 3, and I'm like, you know what?
Wow,
that's a perfect comparison.
Nah, but see, at least Leonard came in the damn ring with the damn ninja outfit, like. At least I remember that. Like, nothing else was memorable from Canelo Golovkin. Like,
it was just bad. Because like I say, it wasn't like the first 2 fights were good. The second fight was the classic.
Now the first fight was decent. It wasn't like a good fight. Like 1 through 10, the first fight was like a 7. Yeah. It was the intensity and the drama behind it. But honestly, the first fight was mostly Canelo dancing around the ring on the ropes. Like, the same fight he had with Bivol, he had with Golovkin the first fight. But niggas tripped when Golovkin said, well, hey, you know, Bivol, you know, he took the game plan I had. Like, it's the same fucking fight. Like niggas ain't watching boxing. Like, but hold on, shout outs to Android. We better get Ghost versus Prime Time on the Bud Spence.
Hell yeah. Yeah, hopefully. That's wishful thinking.
Hold on, wait, Ghost. Wait, no.
Frank Martin. You're talking about Frank Martin.
You're talking about Frank Martin, not Robert Guerrero.
Yeah, not Robert Guerrero.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Frank Martin.
Hold on, Prime Time.
Yeah, LB was about to have PTSD. Like,
Prime Time.
Yeah.
Prime Time.
Okay. See, this nigga's using his fucking
the nickname.
What's that commercial? Like, that's using your dipstick. Like that auto mechanic. Yeah, that's that nigga using his brain.
Yeah.
That's a good motherfucking co-main. Like,
yeah.
I said, yeah, god damn, that's a good co-main. But that's not fucking enough. Give me another fight underneath that one. Shit, man.
Yeah, like
I'm tired of this. Don't give me a fucking Darrell Plant and then give me some mid after that. Like, I need a whole fucking stacked card.
Right, because like I said, even with the zone pay-per-view being what it is. Like, there's just simply too many pay-per-views this year that are just not delivering, like, in that type of way. Like, do we have a pay-per-view fight that
you see niggas on Twitter talking about, man, I'll watch it on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, because it's like
you said there's been 8 pay-per-views.
Yeah, like pay-per-views, like ain't Wilder.
No, what are you talking about? Hellenius Wilder's a big pay-per-view, bro.
It's not even supposed to be. Because Wilder's coming off a horrible loss, and Hellenius, although coming off good victories, isn't coming off a one where you put on pay-per-view. Like, you got to put it on some regular shit. Like, that should be like a regular.
These niggas is fucked up. Like, honestly, if you wanted to blow up boxing, if you would have brought Wilder's comeback fight on regular fucking Fox, and then he cuts a promo in the damn post-fight interview, and he's up here calling out Joshua whatever or Ruiz or who not in the world sees it, like, these dudes just constantly miss layups, like y'all niggas don't care about running the sport and growing it bigger.
Nah, you already know Wilder's never gonna fight on regular TV again.
Right.
That's the problem now. Like, are these niggas any different than fucking Michael Jordan or LeBron or on NBC? No.
Yeah, because it's all about because they overpaid their fighters guarantees and like I said, it's not even like Wilder. It's not even like
Sean Porter and Keith Thurman on prime time, and you know how many niggas in they fucking group chats was lit talking about, hey man, y'all watching this Thurman fight?
Yeah, me and Pete were there too, and me and Pete were actually in the house for that shit, and that shit was rocking.
Wasn't Danny Garcia Thurman on CBS?
That was regular TV too, and again, the first 6 rounds of that fight, niggas was like, oh man, y'all watching this fight on Fox? Like, god damn, like
CBS,
dude. Oh yeah, whatever the fuck, man. Regular TV, nigga. Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, just the whole, just regular TV. Like, these dudes' profile. That fight did 5 million views exactly. Like, you can't even get 5 million views pay-per-view.
Right.
Give this shit away, like. No one, you won't get 5 million people see it. I don't even think if Canelo Golovkin was on free TV, it would have got 5 million views.
Yeah, it would have gone maybe 1 million, maybe even 2.
It would have got 2. It would have got 2. But I'm talking about the fight as is with with the same amount of promo it had.
Right.
It just do 2 mil. But imagine if you would have gave it promo. It talked about how historic this fight was and actually made it a grudge match. Like, they refused to make this a grudge match. Like,
right.
Like, y'all, it's like y'all put out a gangster rap album and y'all took out the curse words. Like, y'all gave a Walmart edition for this fight. Like, man, fuck this shit, man. Like, is there anything else we got to say about this whole card in general? Like,
yeah, like, well, I mean,
yeah, a little bit. We got to talk a little bit about Bam and ammo, I think.
All right, well, I'm gonna walk away, give me something else to drink. Like, y'all niggas, like, yeah, y'all say what y'all got to say. Like, I don't give a fuck about these other niggas. I'm just over this fucking goddamn event.
Yeah, well, let's say, I mean, I'll say at least. I mean, Bam versus Gonzalez was the fight of the night, and it probably shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been.
Yeah, like I said, this is another example of gut checks and levels. I mean, we all pretty much wrote off Gonzalez. You know, probably not winning this fight, probably getting KO'd, maybe
a tune-up, warm-up,
and you know, Bam.
Stay busy.
Yeah, but of course it turned out to be that way because. Maybe partially because, you know, Bam was probably facing someone who wasn't maybe as worn like Quadras and King Soar, but then also too, he was supposed to, you know, dude pretty much rose to the level, and dude gave him problems all night. And then it got to the point where even the ref was like, "Damn, okay, you know, he gave him a low blow the third time."
Kenny Bayless was hooking him up.
Yeah, Bayless was.
Giving.
I think Bayless was like, "Oh damn, like, you know, this guy, I might need to give him more points, but I might make the fight too close or something like that." Yeah, how someone go down from a shot? Okay, it's not a low blow, but you don't count him either. Like, there was a whole lot of bullshit going on. Like,
and dudes getting mad about criticizing Bam. Like, okay, he's supposed to be fighter of the year. I mean, you know, contenders. You know, I mean, of course, he has high expectations after what he's done fighting older guys, and the guy is age is 25, giving him that work. You know what I mean? Like, of course, he's gonna get a little bit of.
Yeah, his hype is just like over the top for like no reason, and we've had fighters look way more impressive than Bam get less talked about. Like, I don't know, it almost feels like it's some type of inside joke.
It
does.
I mean, it's not like Bam isn't a talent. He clearly is a talent, but I think he needed a fight like this for his development. Because I mean, we forget, like, he has like 14, 15 fights. He's an all-world champion, but he doesn't have.
But the way niggas is acting like they was about to gift wrap a top 10 spot on the pound for pound list was just like come on, like what the fuck? Like,
Bam's not even on my top 15. He wasn't on my top 15.
I fucked up, put him kind of high, like 11 or 12, but that's my fault. But
see, nigga, beat your ass. Like,
I told the truth. But I mean, he's still a good fighter.
Now we did talk about that though.
I had a feeling he was gonna fight to the level of his competition.
He came down to earth. Like,
yeah, that's probably
his competition was fighting right with his ass. Like, I don't that whole fight down the competition shit is like,
who looked worse?
Who made that bullshit up?
Who looked worse, Estrada or Bam?
Estrada.
Yeah.
So nigga, Estrada was getting his, and honestly, I'll go further. Navarrete looked even worse.
Yeah.
Until he got that body.
Oh yeah.
Y'all niggas told me I listened to the podcast after, because I think I got off of that one.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finally seeing the fight, and I was like, God damn, these niggas was right. Like,
he was getting boxed up.
Navarrete was like losing. Like, he was getting boxed up and out fought. Like, and you know, I don't like to hear both from this dude.
Right. And Estrada was getting hands put him to the point where it's just like, God damn, a knockdown separated him from actually losing or getting the draw or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. The thing is, it was the type of punches that Estrada was getting hit with. Like, this dude, like Cortez, was just hauling off, throwing everything in these shots. Like, his family was duct taped in a basement, and Estrada was the one behind it. Like, he's like, fuck it. Like, and then he got to the point Estrada had to dig deep in order to hurt dude.
Right.
Yeah. I think also Bam, he wanted to go back to 112 to capture a belt. You know what I mean? And I think he's kind of forced into this fight.
Honestly, I think Eddie would need to slow down on him fighting again in December. Because
He got to take a break. Come back early next year. Come back like
he's gonna get a dog based situation. Like, don't tempt the gods. Like,
yeah.
All that good work will be for nothing.
It was looking really bad early in that fight.
Yeah, because the funny thing, because Gonzalez was matching him and the body shots was one that took the steam out of Bam early. Like, yeah, and Bam didn't really make any really good adjustments until Gonzalez started to fade, and then he started low blowing him like repeatedly.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, Bam. But the scores were fucking wild on that shit. Like, only one score was right, and that's from the shitty judge.
I knew it was gonna be comical too. When I heard like 118 or 109 or some shit, I was like, yeah.
So you should have known the main event scores was gonna be trash too.
Yeah, they had to balance it out.
Yeah, it was like horrible. I was like, yo, the 114, 113 was more accurate to what's going on, but them shits, the other scores which were wide as fuck, like, get the flying fuck out of here. Like, nah, that's not what it was, like, at all. You know, but like I said, it was good. It was good for Bam to get those fights. But yeah, Eddie, if he might need to dial that shit all the way back with Bam just a little bit.
I mean, if he's gonna fight, quote unquote, the Estrada Chocolatito, maybe he'll just wait it out, for early next year.
Don't put him in there with Chocolatito. That old man will ruin him.
Yeah. See, a lot of people before last night, a lot of people
even Gallo, even Gallo might be too much for him.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, obviously, if Estrada beats Chocolatito in the third fight, then that's the fight that's going to be made next. Unfortunately, that, and then like I said, Bam. Bam. Estrada's probably more beatable at this point than Chocolatito. Chocolatito probably.
Yeah, but Bam could definitely beat Estrada, but that's a 50-50 fight though. Yeah. But I just think what's her name just needs to take a break.
Yeah.
And Estrada looked beatable as fuck for me to just say, he just beats Bam. Like, nah.
Yeah, that's the
like,
thing.
Who that shit? Honestly, I feel like Cortez deserves a rematch more than anything.
Yeah, well, Cortez should probably get a Bam shot. I'd be interested.
That'd be good.
And see, that's the thing, and that's what needs to happen in boxing. Like, okay, let him get a shot at this guy, but don't keep wearing down the same fucking fighters.
Yeah, like
you see how they try to low key wear out Chocolatito.
Yeah,
and now they gonna wear out Bam Bam.
Right.
When it's like, dude, like the motherfucker y'all should be wearing out is fucking Estrada, who do getting all these goddamn gifts and shit.
Right.
I mean, when y'all try to give him a showcase fight, he gave him go life and death and give us a fight of the year. So
right, exactly.
Like, why y'all be punishing the motherfuckers who do what they supposed to do, but y'all rewarded these niggas? Like, boxing, man, boxing can suck a dick sometimes.
Yeah, like that. And but like I said, I mean, at least it was. I mean, the lone bright spot, at least other than was Ammo. Ammo at least pushing through. Had a couple rough moments and ended up, pummeling dude near the end of the fight to get that decision against Conway, though. But Ammo kind of worries me because it's clear that dude's mental health ain't where it needs to be.
Yeah, that little soundbite the Zone did. I don't say it's racially charged, but they made the black man sound crazy. But he was a little off. He was like,
he was bugged. There's no question about that. Like,
even did you see like the not the weigh-in, but like the press conferences? If you look at him, he looks faded as fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, he looked, because I do compare him a little bit. I see some elements of Spence in him. Not saying he's Spence, second coming, but I'm just saying I see some similarities. But he definitely early on in the fight looked a little, I don't know if it was hesitant or what, but he did pull it on later, at least.
Right, yeah. I mean, because after some time, that pressure from Conway, Conway got, was getting worn up from the pressure that he was coming, even though Ammo was getting kind of boxed up, and then Ammo did what he had to do. But yeah, like, I think Ammo will go only as far as his mental health will allow him to, because like he can't be. I remember that fight, even before the Booker fight, where dude had a really close fight, and dude was just wilding out on social media. I was like, spray paint.
Did you see like in the middle of that round, he was like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
But I mean, I just hope he continues to get the help he needs.
Oh yeah,
because I don't want to see a young man like that just get his mental health. I mean, boxing has had a lot of incidents of boxing where mentally they start fucking up and they start falling apart, and bam, like their careers are done.
Yeah, and luckily 160 is kind of a better division, so I mean, hopefully he gets into play sooner than later, but he needs to take care of his mental before anything else. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely though. But yeah, it was just the whole paper was just disappointing, and then of course Canelo. I think the last thing I want to say about is Canelo obviously complaining about his wrist injury and shit like that, saying that it was the plant fight. He's been dealing with it, but damn, like if it was the plant fight, then why'd you take a Bivol fight knowing good and goddamn well that you're facing someone a lot bigger than you are? Then why take a Triple G fight, knowing that you of all people has enough money to actually take whatever time you need off.
Yeah, it's the bullshit. Like, dude was trying to rack up as many easy fights for legacy as possible, and it low key backfired. Like, if you think about it, he got a loss. He didn't look great against the worst version of Golovkin. So it's like, even the showcase fight you were supposed to get, you fucked that up. Like, this was honestly a trash year for fucking. This was the goddamn 2018 Jesse Vargas year for fucking Canelo.
Yeah.
He make excuses saying his wrist and his knee is awful. I mean, it probably could be. I mean, I'm not surprised if Canelo.
He got access to the greatest doctors in the world. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, the knee. I mean, everyone knows about the knee, but it's like if the wrist and shit like that. But if your wrist was like that, then how you landing left hooks like you were against Triple G?
Like cut the shit, man. Like, yo,
I've had wrist injuries. I've had a wrist injury from boxing.
Yeah, you're not throwing like that. Like, when we seen Claudio fucking fuck his wrist up against the most hittable welterweight of all time, we knew it was a problem, because he was landing uppercuts and hooks all day until it happened.
Right, exactly.
And real niggas know what fight I'm talking about.
Absolutely, so it's like
get the fuck out of here, like
but one thing is for sure now, like the wolves are howling because they know that Canelo is meat right now. He's fresh.
But see, that's why he's talking about. I don't know if I'll fight in May or September 2023. You bitch.
Like, honestly, I definitely see him taking like a not a retirement, but like a little break.
He'll fight in September next year, and if it's not Benavidez, it's a duck.
Might be in the UK or some shit, against riders and shit.
No one wants to see them. Then fucking stay retired.
What's coming.
Damn.
What's coming.
Yeah, because let's put it this way. I mean, if we go at 175, he's not beating Better Beef. Like he's not
beating anybody at 175.
Yeah, I don't know why he don't want that Bivol smoke again. I mean, I'm a fan of Canelo, but he don't want to fight. He's never going to beat Bivol.
Yeah, he's never going to beat Bivol, and he probably should. Except now, Bivol might be like, you know what, this motherfucker's fading. Like, you know what, let me not just box his ass up. Let me actually sit on my punches and try to get him out of there, and he might just do it.
Okay, you know what? Who's the best pure boxer that doesn't have the physical tools or the temperament to trouble Canelo, and it's still a marketable fight? Because that's who Canelo will fight. Basically, the safest name nigga he could fight, because all the other people are too much in danger of fighting Canelo and making it a hard fight, and that's Benavidez and Charlo.
Right, and I mean, there's Zerto. Now, if Zerto actually beats...
Zerto's a hard fucking fight.
Canelo doesn't fight Mexicans.
Look, honestly, I'm telling you this, like, Zerto gonna put his foot in Bivol ass. Zerto's gonna put hands on Bivol to the point where people might think Canelo has a chance with Bivol, and Bivol will still beat Canelo.
Yeah,
but Canelo would lose to Zerto. Like, look, man, Zerto fights big and just fucking like relentless, and he just throws hard at you. Like he's not fighting like he was at Top Rank, going through the motions. Like he's really like trying to hurt niggas now. Like that ain't an easy fight for nobody right now. I'm telling y'all.
Oh yeah, he's big as fuck.
And Canelo knows this shit. Zerto will fight Canelo the way we thought Callum Smith would fight him.
Right.
Like in a real fucking Mexican man, shit.
Right, and now that at least Zerto, Zerto at 168, was probably straining to get down, and that's why Zerto never scored the knockouts like that at 168, because he left a lot of himself on the scales. At 175, dude is now all of a sudden like he's a killer now at that point.
Yeah, his just energy is different. His vibe is different. Like I'm telling you, like I look like Bivol Zerto will be one of the better fights of this year. It'll make up for this bullshit.
Yeah, I look forward to it, and thankfully it's not pay-per-view either, so that's good.
I've been looking forward to it. I've been calling for that fight since last year.
Yes, sir.
And it's crazy because the guys that Hearn could hype up and the zone could get behind more, they the ones who deliver the most.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow Bam gets the hype that Wood should get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just weird how that plays out though. But Canelo now isn't at the point, and the fact is too, because even Brett, I said the same thing. Even Brett just put out the tweet too. It's like, Triple G wasn't the one that got old. Canelo has to watch who he's facing, because 168. There's still some big 168 pounders on there, so it's not like
and they're fighters. They're not boxers. He beat all the boxers, so that's what Canelo wants, but. See, the thing is with Golovkin, he boxes enough and he pressures you enough to where you gotta fight him off and box him.
Right.
And that puts pressure on Canelo to where he has to stay focused. Because even Golovkin just doing the little pity pat jabs and just his minimized pressure still had to keep Canelo on point and being defensive and shit like that, and that's what wore him out. So imagine if Golovkin could have if this fight was 2 years ago, if he really could have tried.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what just make this whole we need what's that Men in Black shit where they put the shit in your face and you just
Yeah,
and your memory is washed.
Yeah, like honestly, this whole it's like you need to put this right up there in the archives next to Marquez Vasquez 4.
Yeah, exactly. I said that same fight too because it's like you remember the good fight, at least the fights that were good to great, and you forget about the fight that should have never been, like Leonard Duran 3 and Marquez Vasquez 4. Marquez Vasquez 4 is just like everyone likes to call that the trilogy, and it's like it's not.
This trilogy had the worst scoring ever, and this will be the takeaway from Golovkin versus Canelo. Mm-hmm. The trilogy, the boxing trilogy, with the worst scoring. Because honestly, that's what this whole fucking damn trilogy came down to. Yeah. Horrible scoring.
Horrible judging. Horrible.
No fight was scored good.
Right. Yeah.
So and it's a damn shame when these guys match up stylistically so well that we only got one good fight from them.
Right.
So that's the horrible part. So yeah, like honestly, I'm like boxing don't hype up fights no more. Like as soon as a good fight seems ready, that's the fight. Make it like because this whole niggas got to clean out divisions and then fight this guy and undisputed. I'm just tired of it because y'all make a fucking little show about it and the fights don't end up even being that good.
Right. Yeah, so right now, we got, and we'll probably discuss this more in our final topic. So now, PBC, you have a layup now. You have a chance to deliver a legit super fight, and hopefully you can deliver it from the pay-per-view, from the promo to the undercard. You have an option now. You have where Eddie complained because this is a big fail for Eddie in Matchroom and the Zone itself. This event, it's a fail. So. You have a layup now. You better take advantage of it. Go straight up and down. So it's just like it was frustrating. Like you especially 2 weekends in a row, and then we had another women's super fight fall to the wayside because of a death of a monarch. In 2022 we have monarchs. But it's frustrating. Colonizer
managers.
Right. That known for pilfering shit and shit like that. It's just like boxing has not been good for super fights this year. Has not been good, before we had a very good streak of fights, but the super fights have just for whatever reason they've just been fuck ups, like big
because they're not the super fights. They're not the organic super fights. They're the manufactured super fights. The ones that people kept in their back pocket for 5 years. Like, hit break in case of emergency. I need a super fight. Like that's what this fight was.
Was it really ever a super fight though? If that's the case, to me, it's like once a super fight, always a super fight. But
Yeah, Golovkin Canelo rubber match was always a super fight traditionally, but it hit an expiration date and they still tried to force it on us. Like, and that's the whole problem I have with old boxing media, because as soon as Canelo lost, the whole narrative changed to like, oh well, Golovkin looked good. The third fight doesn't look this bad now. And they really tried to sell us on the fight to the point that, people were just like, you know what? All right, I'll roll with it. Fuck it. Like, and then Golovkin had his little tweets and, they started little press and they would say shit. But then come to find out, old boxing media hyped this shit up so much that none of them even picked Golovkin to win.
Right.
But everybody wanted us to respect this fight so much. Because remember, everybody initially was like, man, this fight's kind of old, but fuck it, just get it over with now at this point. Like, at least it's sellable. And the reason why people were saying that because it was sellable if you would have tried promoting it. Because now Golovkin actually had a great knockout performance. Canelo lost, so Canelo, you had something interesting that happened to both guys in the same year. and y'all couldn't even promo that. So it's like y'all had a super fight that y'all didn't treat like a super fight.
Right.
So I mean, it's like that, you know. If a nigga gets snuffed in the forest and no one sees it, did the nigga get snuffed in the forest? Like,
yeah,
or did he trip over a brand?
Yo, that's a wild example. That might be one of the wildest examples I heard.
Because King P be having this like devil advocate take, so you know I be having to respond. You know, this nigga King P will be silent and he'll be thinking of them shits for like 10 minutes and he'll just pop out like, haha, like anime villain from episode 7, motherfucker, bow. And he'll say that shit and I just gotta be like, alright, but okay, check me out though. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's like so-and-so moonwalked on the sun. Like, nigga, you can't do that. Like, so it's like, damn. I mean, but yeah, like, you know, there's another super fight that's brewing that we'll talk about at the end. But I mean, is there anything else I got to say? You know, I mean, commentary trash, you know, everything else to say about this shit.
Yeah. Do better to zone. That's all. Do better Matchroom in the USA, because y'all playing us like fools.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect, Pilot. That's perfect. Yeah. So